welcome back to another farming simulator video, and today we're going to look at something to help increase immersion in your gameplay, and that is adding animals into the farms that you don't own on the map. If you've been watching any of my Let's Plays, I've been talking about this for a while, so I'm going to show you how I've done it on both of my Let's Play series. So I am on Maypole Farm at the moment, which is a series that I am doing Let's Play on, and I've been through and done this for. It's a really good example because it has a shed load of farms with lots of animal placeables. There are probably quite a lot of ways of doing this. I'm going to show you the way that I have done it. I think you could maybe turn your single player game into a multiplayer game and play it as a multiplayer game and have another farm own all of the other animals. But I'm not going to do that. I want to keep my game as a single player. So we're going to be doing a bit of XML editing basically to add animals into the pastures that we don't own. This is a bit of it's a several step process, and we're going to work through it. So let's assume that this is the save that I am playing on, and I want to add the animals to. I actually don't own any farms on here. I just own the Land Rover, because you have to use a Land Rover for videos on Farm Sim apparently. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and add animals to all of the other farms on the map. In fact, all of the farms. The way we're going to do that is we're going to create a separate save. So do save game. I'm going to head out to the menu, and we're going to create a new save basically. So I have an insane amount of saves active at the moment, but we're going to go to empty slot. Doesn't particularly matter what difficulty level you go on, and we're going to open up Maypole Farm. And what I'm going to do is buy one of each type of enclosure, buy some animals and save it, and then we're going to go out and edit some XML, because it wouldn't be a me tutorial mostly without editing some XML. So, you know, as I said, there's plenty of ways of doing this. This is how I've done it. In another video, I'm going to extend it and we'll look at adding vehicles to other farms. It's a very similar approach. You might be able to work out how I do it. So there we go. We have an empty save, and I'm pretty sure that this farm, the farm we were parked in, has every type of animal on it. In fact, I know it does because I used this one to set it up on my save on Maypole Farm. So there we go. That's brought all of the different animal enclosures, and if we go visit that, what we're going to do is we're just going to buy some animals to populate the enclosure basically. So pick whatever mix you want. I'm going to put quite a few in. Yeah, we're just going to buy a whole bunch of animals. It doesn't really matter what you buy. Buy the ones you like the look of, basically, I guess. If you just want to have them all with one type of animal, that's fine. If you want to have lots of different types across your different farms, then you're going to be in for a bit more work, basically. So we'll go for some of those. There we go. There we go. We've got some sheep in there. We need to do chickens, pigs, and horses still. I know where these are because I've played on this farm a fair bit. And as I said, I used it to set this exact thing up on my Maypole Farm Let's Play. So if you want to see that, I'll try and remember to throw a card in the corner, and you can go have a look at that. It's kind of fun playing with 80s and 90s tractors at the moment, and we'll be slowly progressing through the decades as I play different years. So buy some pigs. So this, I worked this out from on Attingham, where you've got the animal dealer that has animals in it, and it really bugged me that every time I opened the animal menu up, they showed in the menu, and I didn't want that, so I basically changed the farm ID for that, and that sorted that. And yeah, I then thought, oh, I could do that on other maps that I'm playing on, and that's what I've ended up doing. So we'll just get some horses brought as well. So now let's save this, and we're going to quit the game and go out to where our save games are stored. Future me here, you can see it's worked. What I forgot to say when I did that intro, and before we go and I show you how to do what you're seeing done now, back up your save game before you do this. I'll tell you later, but half of you won't watch that far. You'll watch me start doing it and you'll go, I know how to do this, and I won't watch the rest of the tutorial. And then you'll come back and say, I tried it and my game doesn't load. Back up your save now before you do this. Have you done it? Go and do it. I'm not going to, I'm not going to help you if you haven't backed up your save. It will be in your save game backups, but go make a copy of it. Copy it to your desktop. Copy it wherever. You'll be grateful if you screw things up. Now let's carry on with the video. So out on the desktop, your save games are under Documents, My Games, Farming Simulator 22. Probably. There might be somewhere else. If they are, you'll have to go look for them. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into the 2 save games. So for me, that's save games 13 and 14, because yes, I have a lot of save games. It's part of doing testing stuff. And what we're going to do is going to open up the 2 placeables. So save game 13 is the one that we're playing. That's actually opened on the wrong window, but that's not a problem. Let's reopen that. Probably like most people, I have multiple monitors for doing stuff. When I'm plugged into a monitor. So that's that one open, and then we'll go back to there. We'll go to save game 14 and open up that placeable file. So we've got the 2 files open. You want to try and keep track of which one is your original and which one is the one you're adding to, because that might get a bit frustrating. Maypole Farm is really nicely set up because all of the animal pastures are grouped, which is really cool. So we are going to do a quick search for cow. Your farm map that you're playing on might be structured differently. So you've just got to basically search through and find all the different placeables. So you'll notice that in here, I'm going to maximize this so it's nice and big. If we look in this one, the farm ID that's not the one that we have put cows in. Let's find the one that we've put cows in. There we go. So it's cow barn 3. You'll notice that the farm ID is farm ID 1. If we go into here and find the cow barns, and we go to cow barn 3, which is this one, you'll notice that the farm ID is 15. I'm going to leave it as farm ID 15. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to grab that bit. So the bit that's between the husbandry animals, and it goes after husbandry and before feeding robots. So we're going to select it and we're going to copy it. And then we're going to go, and this is the one for save game 13 with Notepad+. You can look at the top of the screen and see save game 13 there where my cursor is pointed. And I'm going to put cows into every cowshed on the map because I don't own any of them. If you own one, make sure you don't mess that up. And we're just going to put a carriage return in there and then paste in the data for the cows and then make it look nice. If you didn't want all of these, or if you want to change the numbers, you could do that here perfectly easily. So again, if we do one here, paste that in, and maybe this one is just brown Swiss, and maybe there's 260 of them in there. So that's 3. Did I delete? No, ignore me. There we go. 3. So this map has a lot of animal enclosures on it. It makes it a really good example for doing this, I think. So yeah, all I'm doing is selecting the feeding robot line, hitting return to put a carriage return in, going up and pasting in. And now we're on to the sheep barn. So we'll go back to the placeables, scroll down and find the one where we brought the sheep. There we go. And basically, we're just going to repeat this process. I think this is a good example because it has lots of animal enclosures. So I think for this one, we need to go between husbandry and husbandry pallets. So there we go. Most maps have less, and it might be that there's only a couple that you need to populate, so it might be a bit quicker. This is really exploiting the fact that in FS22, animals don't die when you don't feed them. So, yeah, they're not going to have any food. If you came to the point where you wanted to buy one of these, a couple of things you could do. You could just buy them with the animals in. I don't know how that would work. If I'm honest, I've not tested that. My intent, that's the last of the sheep. My intent with this is that when I want to buy one of these farms later on, I will come in and delete the animals from that farm and then buy it. I'm not doing it to gain cheap animals. I'm doing it to add some life into the map. So for this one, we're going between husbandry and the end of the placeable. So this is the pigs. There we go. Basically just lots of copying and pasting. And this will be it. This will be it done. We don't need to do anything else. The that's a chicken barn. There's only 3 pig barns. So, oh, we missed one. There we go. Yep, that should be okay. So we're now going to go to chickens. So let's find the chickens that we brought. There we go. And we go between husbandry and husbandry pallets. So same as it was for the sheep. And then we'll just have a fly around the map and see what it looks like. I think that this is the first step in really improving bringing a map to life. It's really noticeable on, particularly on a map like Maypole, where there are lots of farms. Oh, we've got horses next. We've got lots of farms with lots of animal enclosures. That as you're driving around, seeing those fields full of animals really helps, I find, with the immersion. The next step for me, and it's a bit more time consuming, is to go through and populate the farms with vehicles. I have done that on one farm on my Maypole save. Don't think I've been there yet in the gameplay since I did it. And I'll do a video on that as well in a few days' time, or maybe next week. So that's everything copied in. We're just going to save that and reload the game, basically, and we should be done. So back in the game, and we're going to load up save game 13, which was my save game that we started in with the Land Rover. And we'll see what's happened. Have we got animals? Really helpful if you're playing to bring up the debug. That's in your settings. Probably need to explain to people how to do that. It's probably going to be a separate video at this point. What this will do is, if there are any errors in what you've done, you'll be seeing yellow or red text, and that probably means you screwed things up. What I should have said at the start, definitely should have said at the start, is back up the save game before you do this. And I know a lot of you won't have watched to this far, because some of you see the start of this tutorial and go, I know how to do that, and run off and do it, and it doesn't work because you don't watch all of them. But as you can see, right, let's go in. So we don't own any animal enclosures because we're poor. We just have a Land Rover. But we have fields full of animals. So if I turn on flight mode and player speed mode, and we go up into the air, you can see our cows. The cows are in the field. There are sheep in the field. There are horses. There are pigs. There are chickens running around. And then if we fly over to some of the other farms where we weren't before, you can see what have we got here. We've got some sheep. We've got some horses. We've got some more sheep. That's where my farm is, on Maypole Farm. Obviously, I'm playing before the lumber mill was built. But that means I do know there is another farm down here. So there we go. We've got some cows. We've got some sheep. I believe we've got some horses over here. And this is the farm on my Let's Play that I have populated with some vehicles as well. And that's pretty much it. If you try it and it doesn't work, go back because you've backed your save up, because you've been a smart viewer and you've watched this far before you went and tried to do something. So yeah, just go back to your previous save. If you forgot and you've come back because it's not working, you've got save game backups. Go use those. Yeah. So Interesting texture under the grass there. But, there we are. There's the horses. So if we jump back in the landy, there we go. That is how you start to increase the immersion of playing on a map where you're playing on your own and there's lots of empty farms and empty fields. Step one, put some animals in those fields. So they're not going to die, because in FS22 animals don't die without food. They'll just have zero productivity, but that doesn't matter because you're not your animals. As I say, when it comes around to buying it, let's try it. Let's try it. I don't know what will happen. So yeah, we can buy it, and we now have a whole load of cows, and they're not worth very much because their health is awful, and I don't think we would then be able to sell it. Oh, we can. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, my advice, if you're going to buy one of these, is either use easy dev tools to charge yourself for the value of the animals you're gaining, or take the animals out first, because, you know, it's kind of cheaty to just get those animals for free in my mind. And there we go. That's it. If you found this video useful or interesting, then please click the like button. We do not smash like buttons here. If you smash the like button, you have to buy me a coffee. There's a link for that below. If you've got comments, questions, or suggestions, leave those below as well, or head over to my Discord. And if you're new to the channel and you've watched all the way through, and most of you won't have, but most of you won't be, please subscribe and turn on notifications, because that really helps me out. And stay tuned, because I'll do a follow-up on this, on adding vehicles into the farms so that they look a bit more alive as well. It's something that I'm really keen to work on for my own Let's Plays, is improving how things look around the map. You know, so I do a lot of contracts, and it's really, you know, you drive into one of these farms and it's just full of empty sheds, and that is not at all a slight on map makers, because I want those sheds to be empty when I buy the farm. But it'd be really nice, you know, if there was the odd tractor parked. So far, all I've done is adding some vehicles. I might go further. I might start thinking, oh, maybe we could have some bales stacked in one of the sheds, that kind of thing. It's going to come down to when I start to hit issues with lag. Yeah, that's it. I'm kind of rambling now, and I've already done my outro, so I will see you next time.